this work is to help children find combinations to make one number. So this is the number rods, but the miniature of the number rods. You can do this at a table. It's even nice for them to play around with this without any symbols, meaning without the numbers. They can just use it to see how they come together to combine numbers. So I'm going to just give you a sample of a combination. So 1, let's say we're going to do 10. This is 10. How can we make a 10? What are the combinations to make a 10? 1 plus 9. 1 plus 9 makes 10. So it's in that same framework. The reason I like to do this is it's like a precursor to addition. Because when you take addition, you have your place values. You have your ones, or you can refer to it as units, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. The combination of any given number, the highest is 9. So if children can get accustomed to just that in their frame of mind, what are the combinations to make a 9 or any number for that matter? Adding numbers are going to become easy, but to see it in concrete form is very impressionable. So let's say we are going to say 7, 8, 9. 7 plus 2 is 9. So any given combination should create a 9. Once it passes that, that becomes dynamic addition. So to do static, which is the best way to learn, Montessori always goes into place values. We don't just do ones. We give the entire number and we teach them how to read it, how to gather it. So reading and gathering becomes a familiar thing. So we are going to do combinations of, let's say, we're going to take the 9, since we spoke about that. That is the highest value anywhere. The combination of 9 would be 1 plus, we can go with 1 plus 8. So we cast that aside. Then we say we can go with, see, that's 7 plus 2. There we go, 7 plus 2. Now they can write it down if they want. So 1 plus 9, 7 plus 2, 8 plus 1. What else is going to make a 9? That would be 6 plus 3. So we write down 6 plus 3. What else can make a 9? 5 plus 4. 5 plus 4. Now, what's interesting is we know that if we reverse the numbers, it's the same total. But to children, that is not the case. You will see them, they're working, and suddenly they're like, oh, wait a minute, this is not right. Because 5 plus 4, how come 4 plus 5 is 9? So have them do that with the next set. So they see that it's still the same. Later on, you can do the writing. You can just switch the numbers on a paper and say, see, if you switch the numbers, it's still the same number. So it's going to be the same answer. But allow them to manipulate this and come up with those combinations. We just did only the combination of 9. So you can do other combinations, such as what is the combination to make 10? What is the combination to make 8? What is the combination to make a 7? Multiple. And so this work will keep you going for a while. Then once they're doing well with the familiarity of the piece of work, you can add the symbols. Then you do it and you label it. You can say, what is this? So you can say 5 plus 4. Now you're using the word 4 and you're using the word plus and using the word 5. So now we have symbols for 5 and 4. We don't have a symbol for the plus sign. And then we're going to start introducing equals. Then you introduce the symbol for equals, which is just 2 lines. You can make it on a piece of board, you can buy the material, but it's all easy to make. So now they're learning to read an entire sentence. They are saying 5 plus 4 equals 9. So that familiarity is priceless because they can now read. It's a different language. So please use this, and again, you don't need to have this exact material. You can have loose things, like you can use beads, you can use buttons, you can use rocks, you can use I don't know, a number of things come to mind. Seashells, you can use, I've even done with Q-tips, you know, they like to meddle with that, color them different colors, and you can use a plethora of objects to do this same thing and have it with the symbols. So it's called again the combinations to create one single number.